everybody, welcome back to another Random Sam Epic Mom, and today I'm going to give you a book review. This one's on a series. Now I've done a couple books reviewed by this author, Shea. I love her writing style. I love how she's taking historical stories and adding a feminine twist to it. I am not a big feminist, in my opinion, but I love how she gives these empowered, strong-willed female characters the former male lead, and shows how just because you're female doesn't mean you have to put down the guys, and you can be strong with your strong guys. I love that because, again, I'm a mom. But this series is King Arthur and Her Knights. And this one, first book has the first 3 stories in it, which are books 1 to 3 is Enthroned, Enchanted, Embittered. And then 4 to 6 in the second book is Embark, Enlighten, Endeavor. And then the 7th one, Endings, all on its own. Now, I have had these for a while, and it took me a little while to get into them because I get these sets of books and then I just get too many books and whatever the reasons. Well, I read these books in 48 hours. I could not put them down. I had finished this one up yesterday, books 4 to 6, and it was about 8 o'clock at night, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to read a chapter or 2 while I'm waiting for my kids to, finish actually going to sleep. And I stayed up till 3 in the morning reading the last book because I just could not put it down. In this, Arthur, the original Arthur, has taken off and married a shepherdess. And all these plans that have been years in the making, Merlin is so ticked off because it's all kaput because, Merlin had set it up so that Arthur would pull the sword from the stone. Arthur would rule Camelot and unite Britain. And he took off. And Arthur's supposed to be 15. And you gotta remember back then in that time frame, the Middle Ages, a boy marrying at 15, he was considered a man at that point. He was still a youth, but it wasn't a big deal for them to marry that young. Thank God that's not the case anymore. I have a 14-year-old daughter. That ain't happening. But because of it, Merlin puts a spell on the sword and the stone so that the next person who touches it, wherever they are in time and space, who will be worthy of the sword, of pulling the sword, who would be worthy of ruling Britain, would be brought to that time and place. Well, let's jump forward, and we have Britt Arthurs, an American on holiday with her friends, yes, her friends, doing kind of a literacy tour of England. Big, Jane Austen fan, big, Sherlock Holmes fan, all that. And it's just so neat because she's there and her friend happens to be the big fan of Arthurian lore. And she's like, take a picture. I don't want to. So she grabs the sword. And this is modern day. And she is sucked back in time. Now, she is a woman of almost 30. It never really gives her age because, you're not supposed to ask women their age. But she's almost 30. And she's expected to masquerade as a 15-year-old boy. And through all this, it's how, she has to keep her identity secret except for with her closest advisors. And throughout this series, it goes from her, standing up. She happens to be one of those rare females who does know a little bit horseback riding, but is an awesome swordsman. And it's just so funny to see her, with her charm and just honest words, inspire these knights who are supposed to follow this 15-year-old boy king into battle and do all this stuff, and it's now a woman. And it'll go through when it's revealed she's a woman, when her closest Knights of the Round Table become aware, her complete dislike of Guinevere and Lancelot, and how she's trying to steer clear of them, becoming friends with Lady of the Lake to get Excalibur. And it's just, she's such a smart aleck. And for the first, half of the first book, she's like, this has got to be a dream, this has got to be the dream, this has got to be a dream. And she got this book of Tour of England or Tour of Britain, handbook that states some of the historical facts and everything. And one of the pages has the Arthur legend. And she's like, oh my God. And it's just, her having to realize, okay, this isn't something that's going to go away. And through it all, she can't have a lady love. She can't have that. She can't let anybody know her secret. And she's having to win over these knights. She's having to show that she is capable, that she wants to show everybody equality, and how she turns, these knights who are fighting and fighting. She takes the sons of these kings who are opposing her, and heck, she even becomes friends with Morgan Le Fay. And she takes their sons and she turns them into knights who make you proud, who, truly follow their path. And it's just so amazing to read it, because it's not so much taken away from the author's story as it is making you realize that King Arthur, whether he was a man or a woman or anything, had to have charisma, had to have this ability to draw loyalty from his men, and she does that. Brit becomes, who's referred to as King Arthur throughout, she gets to the point where she will develop feelings for Merlin. She will, as being a kid who was raised by a single mom after the age of 10, be a little unsure of, her supposed foster father and brother, and developing that relationship. And in the book, at the end of each one of these little big of these, and even this one, it gives little added chapters. But it's so amazing to see how somebody transported with our education that we have now, transported to ancient Britain, and how their knowledge and their limitations are going to have to combine to find a way to bring these people together. It's somebody who's, going to Camelot and taking care of her people. From the lowliest page boy to a knight, giving them respect. And it's also, something as simple as, okay, she rescues a kid from the mysterious forest who's just been lost, and just shocks people because she's willing to, get this kid home. Just something as simple as that. Hey, I found a lost child. Let me make sure she gets home to Camelot, okay? Oh, wow, this kid smells. Obviously, bathing isn't a big thing here. So I'm going to have, public bath houses built like the Romans have, so that people will be, hygienic. And it's taking her values and combining them with the ideas of chivalry. And honestly, guys, I am really loving K.M. Shea's books, because she puts... she's got a whole fairy tale line where she takes the classic fairy tales and kind of puts a twist on them in an alternate world. But she has this way of, a lot of, feminist authors are always trying to belittle men, or they're trying to make women into these big tough. And I love how she's making it so that these women, they never become less, they never become just one thing. They just become more of who they already are, embracing themselves. And that, to me, is a big thing. So many authors, they can get that story going, but with K.M. Shea's stories, it's so much focused on the actual character development of the growth of these people, the growth of their friendships and everything. And I just love it. I love the complexity of it. I loved how Brit is just pretty much having to accept her new loss. And something a lot of people don't think about is that because I'm always joking with my husband about, if you could go back in time, would you? Or, what would you do? And how cool would it be because you'd have all this knowledge? But Brit, especially in the first and second book, really has to come to grips with this feeling of loss, because even though she's been sent back in time and she's being given this amazing adventure, she misses her family. She misses her sister and her mother who were left behind. She misses her friends. She misses who she was then. And it's just so amazing to see this character develop and grow and accept that loss, because we all grieve for things in different ways, whether it's an animal, a parent, a friend, any loved one, even just basic acquaintances. You know, sometimes when people, drastic changes in their lives, they grieve what used to be. And it's so great to see how this character does that. And once it's these tough nights, realize, oh wow, she really did lose this. We never took into that account. They come to understand her a little bit better. But this one woman from 21st century turning around and inspiring men with, her basic openness and willingness to believe in them, encourages them. And it's so amazing, just the nights she meets, the people she interacts with, this constant struggles to maintain the kingdom and bring Britain together, fighting with them on, no, we're not going to go attack Ireland to get them under our control. No, we want to reunite Britain, then we're going to do it the right way. And it's just so compelling, and it's just such a wonderful story. So again, if you get a chance, please read King Arthur and Her Knights. This set of stories is just so amazing. The ending, because it does follow quite a bit of some of the historical stories, legends and such, but it gives it a little twist, as I said. But the ending kind of surprises you, and I'm not going to spoil it because, oh my god, it is so wonderful to read. But it is worth it, guys. Please, please, please. I happen to be a big fan of paper books, as you probably noticed from my other book reviews. But these are super affordable. I'd have to look it up, but I think it's like $10 for the whole set on ebook or something around that. And they are just a wonderful thing to have. I'm rereading other of her books. But again, give K.M. Shea with her King Arthur and Her Knights series, please give it a shot. Even if you're reading just the first one, it is so worth it. It is such a wonderful read. And hopefully you guys will join me again for another book review and some of our other videos. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Please check out our other videos already on YouTube. And give us a like and subscribe. And if you hit that bell for notifications, you'll know when we put something new out. So try to make every day matter by finding the fun. You guys have a great one. Bye.